Video professionals need a professional video monitor. Just a decade ago, a video production monitor was always a gigantic, heavy glass vacuum tube. Although the technology of the TV remained basically unchanged for the last 50 years, the dawning of the 21st century brought with it an array of new display technologies. While the home theater remains a complex environment, video professionals have rather more specific needs that are, in some ways, easier to meet. From plasmas to LCDs, we'll illuminate both the bright and the beautiful right down to the sub-pixel level next on TechKnow. It's fairly easy to recommend a specific display for a specific purpose. For portability and largest screen size, you can't beat a projector. For the brightest image in a large format display, plasma is the way to go. And no question, while LCDs are the most power efficient and the sexiest, you still can't beat the old school tubes for fidelity. Let's narrow our scope a bit and simplify the discussion. While the best display in a home theater might ultimately be a matter of personal preference, with biggest for the least amount of money being perhaps the most important criteria, we're looking for a little more accuracy in the field and in the edit bay. By far the oldest technology in production today is the cathode ray tube, or CRT. The CRT consists of an electron gun that shoots, well, electrons at a phosphor screen which is stimulated to emit light. A color television uses 3 such electron guns, each targeting individual red, green, and blue colored phosphors. The big limitation of CRT technology is that the electrons need to travel through a vacuum, which means that the whole gun to phosphor screen system needs to be enclosed in a glass tube. So you're not only talking about a large screen up front, but you're also talking about a truly gigantic vacuum tube, which is not only heavy and delicate, but as you might expect, it's very expensive to produce. While no modern technology can surpass the ancient CRT in terms of resolution flexibility, brightness, and image fidelity, 40 inches is considered tiny by today's television standards. Still, the CRT production monitor has been the standard in the studio and still will be for some time to come. The first direct view, truly large and relatively affordable display was the plasma screen, if $2,000 can be considered affordable. Surprisingly, plasma technology is not really all that different from a CRT at the front, minus a cathode ray in the tube, of course. A pixel in a plasma display is composed of 3 cells, each containing a noble gas mixture that's excited by an electrical current and turned into a plasma, not unlike a neon light. The tiny plasma light is not what actually shines out, however, and instead it stimulates a phosphor or subpixel on a screen, just like a CRT. The difference is that the plasma cells sit just behind the phosphor screen and thus are not encased in a gigantic vacuum tube, and thus the screen size is only limited to the plane of glass in front of the display. This large, flawless piece of glass is not an insignificant limitation, however. It is an amazing piece of technology all by itself. Being a phosphor screen-based technology, like a CRT, plasmas are very bright and can display a wide range of colors with good fidelity. The only real downside is that it takes a good amount of electricity to fire up the individual plasma cells. The phosphors on a plasma display can and do lose a bit of their brightness over time, as do the phosphors on a CRT. When a very constant source is displayed on screen for long periods of time, this can lead to phosphor burn-in, which will leave a permanent ghost image on the screen. While plasma televisions are notorious for exhibiting this effect, any phosphor screen-based technology is vulnerable, including the venerable CRT. Liquid crystal displays, or LCDs, are not phosphor-based, but instead rely on a thin film of individual crystal elements that change to become variably opaque or transparent. The liquid crystal elements don't actually generate any light by themselves, and therefore need some other light source. In a computer monitor, laptop, or direct view LCD television, You basically just need a light bulb behind the LCD. The light then passes through the liquid crystal array to a color filter array just in front of it. Changing the orientation or transparency of the crystals requires a relatively small electrical current, and if you use an energy-efficient backlight, such as a fluorescent tube, LCDs are very easy to power, which makes them ideal for small screens, battery-powered devices like car DVD players, and laptops. Since the actual elements don't generate light directly, LCDs aren't as bright as the phosphor screen-based plasmas or CRTs. They also don't have the widest dynamic range of brightness and contrast or color. LCDs also have slower pixel response times, which can result in ghost images on very fast action, which you probably won't notice unless you're a twitchy gamer. LCDs also share a weakness with plasmas. Both are locked into a default native display resolution. For example, 1920 by 1080 pixels. 1080i video displayed at this resolution looks pristine, but SD, DVD video, and 720p all need to be upsampled. It is therefore important when shopping for an LCD, and especially when shopping for a plasma, to make sure that it natively supports 1080i at a minimum. You will of course be using LCDs as your primary computer monitor, probably a pair of them. If you still produce video distributed on DVD video disc and SD television, a CRT production monitor is still the standard for checking color. An HD CRT production monitor is really the ideal for editing as well. They're bright, accurate, and can display multiple resolutions. Still, while LCDs are locked into a best native resolution, they are the dominant pragmatic solution for field and preview monitoring. The convenience of LCDs really can't be beat, and the technology's weaknesses can be compensated for with careful color calibration, the use of waveform monitors, and, above all else, experience.